everybody, my name is Kayla and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today's video is going to be long books that you can read during social distancing. So before anybody comes at me, you guys voted for this video. I want to preface this book recommendation video, does that even make sense? By saying, please stay safe. Please do not believe social media and all this mass hysteria that's happening in America right now and even all around the world. Please go for the facts. I'm going to link the CDC below. Be smart, be safe. So there's a lot of people in the world right now that have some time on their hands. I know personally I have about 4 weeks to chill, so I figured that it would be a good idea to give you guys some long book recommendations, books that are long themselves or are part of long series, essentially books that can distract you and provide a cool escape with everything going on. So let's get started. Okay, so the first recommendations for you guys is anything Leigh Bardugo. So right now, Leigh Bardugo has 2 established series as well as sequels and is essentially a really good way to pass time. Shadow and Bone gives you the start to the Grishaverse, which is basically this world. So all these kingdoms are fighting this dark thing called the Shadowfolds, and there's essentially this pit of land that creates these monsters that is going out and killing everybody. So this follows Elena, and she discovers that she has a very special gift that can be used for this. So she was originally a soldier orphan, somebody really low, and all of a sudden gets whisked away to the elite part of this military of all these things, where she stumbles upon the Darkling. And it's a wild ride of stories of resistance, of survival in dark times, making it an amazing series to get into. Also in the Grishaverse is the Six of Crows duology, and I believe there's another one coming out, but this is kind of set in the same world, just in a different location, possibly in the pretty much similar time things, because they all come together in a sequel that she's written called King of Scars, I believe. But Six of Crows follows these 6 different misfits and people from all around this world as they come together to pull off a heist. So this next one, most of you have probably already read, but I thought it was worth mentioning. I am recommending the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard because there's a lot of them. There's, I'm pretty sure, even some novellas, and the last book is ginormous. So the first 3 don't look like they're a lot, but trust me, honey, there's a lot in these books. Queen follows Mare because her world is divided by blood. So the elitists have, I believe it's like silver blood, something like that, and are the kings and queens of people higher up in society, and they dominate the lower class, which is normal people, reds. So the silver people basically have powers, and red people are normal humans. Therefore, they do all the hard work. They're literally the bottom of the bottom. And they're fighting a war against a different country, so if you're not special, you pretty much get drafted and probably gonna die. And so Mare Barrow is about to be drafted, and she finds out through a freak accident at the capital, at the castle, that she actually has red blood, but is super powerful too. So she essentially thinks she's the first of her kind, and you follow her journey as she gets intertwined with royalty and politics and another resistance, and it's all around a good time. And honestly, there's so many lovable characters, and this is a very, very distracting series that's very easy to get into. And what are my cats doing? It's just a good time. So this next book isn't necessarily long, but this author has a ton of work and a ton of different worlds for you to dive into. So anything Jennifer L. Armentrout is honestly going to be a great time. This is The Darkest Star, which is the duology that I love. But she has so many different series, and you can find them on like ebooks or Kindles for relatively cheap too. They're very affordable books online, and honestly, her worlds are amazing. They're super easy to get into, super entertaining, and she writes amazing romance. So if you need a bunch of different books collectively to get into, I recommend her as an author. This would not be a normal recommendation video for myself unless I recommended A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Sarah J. Maas writes a lot of high fantasy, and her worlds are super complex and honestly amazing to escape into if you need a pastime. So personally, I love all of her stuff, but I adore A Court of Thorns and Roses. So the premise of this story is it follows Faye, there's a lot of different ways to say her name. So in this world, essentially, you have all these Fae courts in this kingdom, and then you got human land. So Fair lives in human land, accidentally kills a wolf that's actually Fae, and it's kind of retelling of Beauty and the Beast. So Tamlin, the Lord of the Spring Court, essentially has to come down, takes her, and she gets pulled into this whole court of literally complications. if that's the easy way to say it. And there's somebody named Amarantha, we hate her, who is under the mountain and is imprisoning all these Fae people and bringing upon the end of time. So Fair essentially has to figure out a curse regarding Tamlin in the Supreme Court and save everybody. So good. Okay, so I personally am not a huge fan of the Mortal Instruments, but I know a lot of people are, so I am going to be recommending it to you guys. So Cassandra Clare literally has 1 billion books out there on the market, in bookstores, in ebook. So you're gonna find these somewhere, or you're gonna be able to get access to these. So Mortal Instruments is basically kind of an original series, but there's all these prequels, there's different spin-offs, so there's literally 1 billion books in this, and each book is a pretty sizable chunk. So if you're ever afraid to kind of dive into a new series because you're worried you won't have the whole time to read it all, you got the time now. So you can totally handle this monster of a universe. If you don't know what the Mortal Instruments about, this is the first book, City of Bones, BTW. It follows Clary Frey as she discovers that her mother is secretly entwined in this mystical world inside the human realm. She finds out that there's all these different supernatural creatures and that she's really important. These people are called the Shadow Hunters and kind of work in the in-betweens of society. And some stuff goes down. She finds some romance, which is really complicated, but that's besides the point. And she almost dies a couple times, so it's a grand old time. Alright, if you're looking for some trashy YA that's definitely filled with drama and will fulfill your social need for anything, I recommend The Selection by Kiera Cass. So this is an old favorite of mine that I talk about all the time. But The Selection is a dystopian novel, and it's this whole series. So there's 3 books. It's a main trilogy, and then there's a duology that's set later in this timeline. But anyway, so this follows America in a future America, but it's not called America, obviously, where caste systems have overtaken everything. So there's a royal family, and essentially the caste are like 1 through 8, I believe. So like 1s are celebrities, 4 are artists, 5 are whatever, 6 are factory workers, if that makes sense. So as you go down the line, you got different things. America is a 5, and essentially when a male heir comes to the throne and becomes of age, he hosts a selection, which is kind of a way to unify the nation. So all the ladies in a certain age bracket can essentially, it's kind of like a major bachelor. Literally, it's like a dystopian bachelor, essentially. So you can like put your picture in, and then 35 get selected to come to the palace to compete for the king's heart, for the future king's heart and the throne. So America wants nothing to do with this, but she knows that being in this competition gives money, and her family needs money, so she kind of goes along with it, gets whisked off to the castle, and forms an unlikely friendship with the prince that may turn romantic. And there's, again, themes of resistance and rebellion in this caste system that's severely messed up and mirrors a lot of society today, which is whack. But it's really easy to get into, lots of drama, good romance, and they're pretty fast reads, so you can devour them all very fast. Alright, so a honorable spotlight in this video is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This series has literally so many books too. This one is longer than Court of Thorns and Roses, and this follows Selena in a similar phase society where there's magic running rampant, and it's gonna take a lot to explain this, and this video is already probably pretty long. But if you need another high fantasy series, because I know I've already recommended a lot of them, I recommend Throne of Glass. Alright, so the last book I'm going to be recommending is more of a Greek mythology, just to throw something else different in there, and this book is not as well known, so hopefully if you haven't found a book that you haven't read till now, here you go. So, The Goddess Test is by Amy Carter. So this follows Kate, and she moves to a new town, and her mom ends up dying of cancer. In the whirlwind of this, she almost dies too, and meets a mysterious stranger, and basically strikes a deal, who ends up being Hades. So her mom gets brought back to life, and she has to go move into this underworld type place, and she figures out that she's part of this whole curse with the Greek gods, and it's very wild, and it's a good time. Alright everybody, so that was today's video. Remember to like and subscribe down below, and hit the bell icon to be notified every time I upload a video. If you have any other videos you would like me to film during this time, please let me know down below. I got a lot of time to film now. I hope you found some books to get into, or find some in the comments if anybody comments any more. Check out my Instagram, kayla.rose_reads, as well as my Goodreads, Kayla Rose. So without further ado, please stay safe, guys. Look at the CDC for information. Don't buy into mass hysteria. Read lots of books and just be good people. Bye, guys.